A very good morning, everyone. Welcome to StudyIQ English. Welcome to the Hindu news class today. That's for 21st November 2025. I am Saumya. A very good morning, Ramu, Punguru, Terukula. Very good morning. Yes, the class should be starting at 9:30. Apologies for the 5 minutes delay from my side. Like every day, you and I will look at the Hindu newspaper, the New Delhi edition, specifically all the UPSC relevant articles from here. We will take data, perspectives, conceptual clarity about all the events that are making news right now. The idea is that you use these when you write your answers. The idea is also to cover various global and Indian news for the perspective of UPSC prelims as well. Okay, so very good morning there, Ramu, Varnika, Rashika, aspirant, Kojumba, Reshma, Dishank, and Sumedh is here. Sitaram is here. Very good morning, dear. So happy to see each one of you. Okay, then let me show you today's news articles. Here they are. So we have about 7 articles that I have picked up from the newspaper today. The first 2 articles are editorial articles. There is one article which is rather repetitive in the editorial page that talks about the Bihar Assembly elections and how to decode the result of that election. I thought of skipping it initially, but there's no harm in revising all these things. So therefore, I just thought I'll cover it in like 2-3 minutes for you. And then the first two are editorial. Almost 4 articles are prelims oriented, so not a very lengthy discussion I am foreseeing for today. So very good morning there, Vadia. Good morning, Bulbul. So let's begin then with the first article, and that's editorial article because it is page number 8. So what article is that? This article is talking about the blue economy. GS paper 3, Indian economy. We are looking at the blue economy. We all know blue economy would mean an economy that derives benefit from the use of marine as well as inland water sources. Okay, so that's a blue economy all about, the water-based economy, particularly the marine economy. This article is saying India's fisheries and aquaculture is a promising course. That means for the future as well. You talk about the aquaculture in India, fisheries in India, the marine trade in India. All these will benefit us in a very big way because this is a rising segment, a very rising domain for India. So let's quickly see what this article talks about. Absolutely, that's correct, Ramu. Today, the main front page article has also spoken about the presidential reference to the Supreme Court regarding the debate whether Supreme Court can decide a timeline for governors and presidents to give their accent to the bills passed by Lok Sabha or the Assembly. I have taken that article as well. I will talk about it. Very good morning there. Saurav and Ramesh has joined us. Meti has joined us. Yes, Ramu. We are looking at fisheries and marine economy of India. What does this article say? Editorial article. Article says fisheries and aquaculture. What does it say? Let me quickly pen down. Fisheries and aquaculture are the fastest growing food producing sectors in India. So, what are these? These are the fastest growing food producing sectors in India. Very good, Sitaram. The blue revolution, yes. So, these two, fisheries and aquaculture, the fastest growing food producing sectors in India. They are very important. Important for what? They are important because they generate employment, source of livelihood. They are important because they generate nutrition requirement of the people. We all know India is a country characterized by a high grade malnourishment and protein hunger. Their fisheries play a very crucial part by providing for protein nourishment for so many people. At the same time, it is also related to India's trade in agri-foods, trade in fisheries, aqua marine products. And definitely, it is a major segment of India's export income. At the same time, it also supports millions of people in India, especially those people who have no choice but who are living in the coastal and rural areas. So many of these people are depending on their income that comes from fishing trade or fisheries. Very good morning, Surya. That's right, Kojumba. Thank you for telling us. Indeed, a sector that's valued at $313 billion in India. It's a great big sector. Yes, its contribution is tremendous in agri-food export also. If fishery and aquaculture are so important, then what are the challenges that we are facing in this sector right now? Clearly, the article is saying when it comes to the challenges that our aquaculture and fisheries are facing today, the biggest is over exploitation, the problem of overfishing. Then there is the problem of habitat loss. Habitat loss is a major issue. Water pollution is again a rising problem, whether it's marine pollution or whether it's the pollution in inland water bodies like rivers, wetlands, lakes, ponds. Pollution, very important. Recently, we also spoke about another kind of pollution, that is the BOD, biological oxygen demand in the water. That is also a major source of pollution in India right now with regards to marine and inland water. Then you have small scale fisheries that have a lack of access to loans to credit, technology, market access. We have very, very poor storage and warehousing system. In India, we suffer from logistical constraints. There is a deficiency of cold storage. Cold storage and refrigerated supply chains are a major issue. That means after harvesting, after you complete your fishing process, there is a huge chance of food loss. There is a leakage when it comes to post harvest period, which also impacts our export potential as well as food security. When we say so many coastal people are dependent on fisheries as their major source of food, but post harvesting, if there is so much loss due to lack of storage, lack of clean transportation, definitely it's a loss for food source. It is a loss also for our export sector. Now, looking at India's growth in this segment, if you look at the 2022 data, then let's separate between capture fisheries. There is a difference between capture fisheries and there is a difference between aquaculture. Okay, difference between capture fisheries and aquaculture. What's the difference? Looking at capture fisheries. Capture fishery means the harvesting of naturally occurring fish from the sea or from the river, lake, or any other wetland. So if you go and you directly catch fish from a water body, naturally, from a natural source of water, that's called as capture fishery. What is aquaculture? Aquaculture is about artificially breeding and artificially farming various kind of fish and marine organisms. Here, the fish is not caught directly, but it is bred artificially. So there is a difference between capture fishery and aquaculture. Now, looking at India's achievement in 2022, if you talk about capture fisheries, then capture fishery was about 92.3 million ton in India. Looking at aquaculture from the same period, 130.9 million ton in India. Therefore, in India right now, we say that we are the second largest. Somebody also mentioned that in the comment box. Dishank mentioned, very good. India right now is the second largest aquaculture producer in the world. The second largest aquaculture producer in the world. At the same time, in India, we have more than 10.23 million ton of aquatic animals. That's huge. Total 10.23 million tons of aquatic animals, water animals, fish, other species, other organisms. And we are the second largest aquaculture producer in terms of the whole world, globally. If you look at the production growth, it was about 2.44 million tons in 1980s, and if you compare it with 2023 data, in just few years, it has expanded to 17.54 million tons. That means aquaculture is the main growth driver when it comes to India's marine economy, blue economy, all because of modernization and technology. Very well said. Ramu, yes, we have so many policies here. Blue economy, Sagar Mala, contribution to GDP, about 4%. Very, very good. Very good morning, Mumtaz dear. Kojupa, that's valid. Indian Fisheries Act was the foundation law 1897 that regulated all this sector. Very well said. So far all the points are clear to everyone? Absolutely, it is, Saurav. Yes, very good. Because when you have water hyacinth, when you have all these invasive species that come and cover the wetlands and the water bodies, it looks very good from outside. From inside, all these invasive species, they completely deplete the water of their oxygen, dissolved oxygen, biological oxygen demand, BOD. The water becomes unfit then and it becomes highly polluted. And definitely it's a big loss. It's a big loss when we say to our freshwater organisms. It's a major problem. Well pointed out. Invasive species phenomena. That's absolutely correct, aspirant. India is the second largest fish producing country. Yes, we are also second largest contributor to aquaculture globally. Very, very good. Very good morning there, Mukesh. So now all the points are clear. In the article, we spoke about what's the importance of aquaculture and your catch fisheries. What are catch fisheries? It's a primary sector. It's a primary sector. Directly from the water, we are catching the fish and other organisms. That's catch fishery. What's aquaculture? Aquaculture is when you artificially breed various kind of aquatic animals, including your fish. India is the second largest aquaculture producer globally. It's a sector that contributes to about 4% in our GDP, right? Today, there are challenges despite generating employment, livelihood, despite contributing to GDP and export. Today, we are suffering because although India proposes to become a leader in blue economy, as Ramu says, we have various missions like Sagar Mala, Sagar, Mahasagar. All that not only to create a footprint in the sea for defense purpose, but also to improve the quality of fisheries. But right now, there are challenges. Overfishing. As Saurav says, the problem of invasive species in water, water quality decline, water pollution, climate change. Small scale fisheries have no access to market. Neither are they getting loans to expand their business. Plus, the problem of poor cold storage, lack of proper supply chain, and that creates wastage of food after harvesting, also limiting our export potential. That's good. Okay, Sitaram Dishank, yes, and aspirant, that's a very valid statement. Thank you for that comment. It's for everyone to learn and know. Major fish producing states, Andhra, Bengal, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. Very good. Thank you there. Now coming back to India's growth, I just told you that from 1980s to 2023, there has been an increase. Production in aquaculture has increased from 2.44 million tons to now 17.54 million tons. More than 8 times we have expanded exponentially. What are the major agencies that are involved in regulating the fisheries and aquaculture in India? The biggest is ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, also has many fishery institutes that run under its governance. So many fishery institutes that run under ICAR. They are specialized research and academic institutions that work under Indian Council of Agriculture Research. What do? They not only focus on fishery science, they focus on inland fishery, marine fishery, post-harvest technology policy support. Same time, we also have the Marine Products Export Development Authority, the MPEDA. And what does this do? It is a statutory body, a body created by legislative act of the parliament, by law. Under the Marine Products Export Development Authority Act 1972 is when MPEDA came into being. And what is MPEDA? Marine Product Export Development Authority. It works under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, the Government of India. Role is to promote export of marine products in India, to improve seafood processing sector in India. Then you have another agency called Coastal Aquaculture Authority, CAA, that regulates coastal aquaculture in India. Government also has done many initiatives. One of the biggest initiatives of the government in the fishery sector, in Hindi it is known as the Neel Kranti. In Hindi, it is known as the Neel Kranti. In English, we can call it the Blue Revolution, as somebody mentioned here in the comment box. So very good there. Yes? Okay, Eric is here with us. Good morning, Eric. Yes, the ship sink. All right, beautiful. Good morning, Eric. Yes, Act means statutory Sitaram. Beautiful. So looking at the Neel Kranti. Yes, that's also there, Dishang. So Neel Kranti, the Blue Revolution. The idea of the government is to improve fish production through aquaculture modernization, fishery modernization, to enhance productivity of and to improve the income of farmers and people who are the fishing community. Then, as Dishank mentioned right now, the PMMSY. What is this policy? It stands for Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Very, very important to remember in this sector. In GS paper 3, you may get a question on the importance of blue economy. Do remember the data that we are discussing here. A contributor to GDP about 4%. India's expanded potential 17.5 million ton. Second largest producer of aquaculture. And a key scheme of the government here would be also important for GS paper 2. Government schemes. Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, PMMSY. What is that? It was launched in 2020. Remember, during the COVID period, it was launched, 2020. What's the idea? It was launched as a greater part of Atmanirbhar Bharat package, self-reliant India. What's the idea? It's a flagship scheme of the government of India to promote sustainable development of fisheries and aquaculture. What are the objectives? Increase fish production, increase productivity through expansion, diversification, intensification of aquaculture, plus modernization of fishery. New harbors, landing centers, cold chain and supply chain storage that is refrigerated, all to modernize to save the food loss, improving our export potential. A quick question to you. There was a country recently whose marine products were rejected by America, saying that they have a very high degree of mercury contamination. Which country was that? One more question. Which agreement, which protocol deals with mercury contamination? It's a global protocol. Which of that, which protocol is that deals with mercury contamination in human beings? Mercury toxicity. Very popular UPSC question. Okay, Varnika, is that the case? Think about it better. Which country was that? And think about it. Which protocol is that which I am referring to? Mercury contamination, mercury toxicity. Think about it. Okay, all right. It was not India. It was not Iran either. Not really, Dishank. No, not really. No. Was it Nayoga? Is that the valid answer? Think about it. Think about it. Quickly, let's proceed. You can answer later also. No worries. Now, which country was that? Was it Japan? Okay, think about it once again. It's near Japan. Okay, yes, thank you, Ramesh, for that. The idea of Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana is to boost fisheries sector through sustainable and responsible development. And Dishank also asked a question. I think I missed the question. What does Dishank say? I missed your question, Dishank. You asked a question. Kisan credit card. Yes, it does. It includes Dishank. It does. Definitely, it's included here also. It includes that also. Good question. Very good. Absolutely, Terukula. It's the Mina Mata Convention. Yes, Reshma. Very happy to see that answer. The Mina Mata Convention. Yes, Reshma. It was Indonesia. Very, very good. Very good. So all of beautiful tries were coming. I'm happy that we are trying. I'm absolutely not concerned with only the right answer. I want us to think and discuss. Because now I know nobody is going to forget. In the prelims, if the question comes, nobody will forget. We spoke about it, Indonesia. Indonesia was the country whose fish and marine products were rejected. In US, they were found to be heavily contaminated by mercury. All the food was discarded, highlighting the leakage in export potential in case the governments do not take care of all this. And that's why in India, the PMMSY focuses on that. And the convention that deals with mercury toxicity is the Minamata Convention. So do remember about that. Very well tried. Wonderful job, everyone. Yes, Kojumba, one of it was Indonesia. That's correct. It was recently in the news. Yeah, that is a different thing. That's a different thing. That's a separate question altogether. I asked you two questions. Recently in the news, which country's products were rejected? That was Indonesia. Now, this is a separate question. Which convention deals with toxicity of mercury? That's the Minamata Convention. And you're right, Ramu. Absolutely. Okay, but these are two different things. So, well answered, everybody. Now, focusing back on this article, the Neel Kranti, what else does the government want to do? No problem. Now you will remember forever. Now you won't forget. That's my idea. Very, very good. Now let's focus back. So, government of India is doing what all to encourage fishery and aquaculture? We just spoke about it. So many policies, Blue Revolution, Neel Kranti. We spoke about PMM, Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana 2020 scheme. We spoke about the objectives. Now, there is an idea, as Dishank says, to include the Kisan credit card inclusion within the scheme. To create more Matsya Seva Kendra, Matsya Seva centers, which can provide support to those who are into small-scale fishing industry. To also modernize vessel transponders for safety of the fisherman. Climate resilient Coastal Fishermen Villages Program, and ultimately the draft National Fisheries Policy 2020. Now, let's not forget, all these are efforts made by the Indian government. There is another thing here. Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. Food and Agriculture Organization says we are going to support India in the long term to promote sustainable and resilient fishery and aquaculture. And how will the FAO support us? Please remember, I don't want you to forget this. The BOBP initiative. What's the BOBP initiative? It is the Bay of Bengal program. Bay of Bengal program, BOBP. What's the purpose? The purpose is to support small-scale fishery, sea safety, post-harvest fish management. Then there is another program that's known as BOBLME. What is that? Do remember, both are related to aquaculture and fish. Don't forget that. A good question like that can come in the prelims. So remember, nobody should forget. We spoke about it in the class on 21st November. Nobody will forget Minamata Convention. Nobody will forget Indonesia. Nobody should forget BOBP. Bay of Bengal program. What's the purpose of Bay of Bengal program? I repeat and I write down on the screen. A question can come on that. What's the purpose? To promote small scale fisheries. Nobody should forget. To promote small scale fisheries. Sea safety. Post-harvest management of the fish and marine animals. Remember, next initiative, BOBLME. What's the purpose? Bay of Bengal program. The purpose is to support Bay of Bengal large marine ecosystem. What is BOBLME? Bay of Bengal large marine ecosystem. I repeat, Bay of Bengal large marine ecosystem. It is a project that aims to improve management, conservation, sustainable use of marine and coastal resources in the Bay of Bengal. And who has created this program? FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. So don't forget both of them. One was the BOBP, right? One is the BOBLME, Bay of Bengal large marine ecosystem, to promote coastal resources and fishery in the Bay of Bengal. Idea is to conserve and to fight the problem of IUU. What is IUU? Illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing. Let me repeat. Illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing. Today in the newspaper, there was a small news. I have not brought it here, but I thought I will discuss orally with you. One vessel, some Coast Guard vessel from Bangladesh, has been caught. It was trying to invade inside India's exclusive economic zone. We all have studied Exclusive Economic Zone, UNCLOS 1982, United Nations Conventions on the Law of the Sea. 22 nautical miles from the coastal area is your exclusive economic zone. But today, Bangladesh's vessel was found in our exclusive economic zone. These incidents are very common. They keep happening. That's why we have UNCLOS. China repeatedly breaks the provisions of UNCLOS. Remember. So now the idea under Bay of Bengal, large marine ecosystem, BOBLME, created by FAO, is also to prevent against illegal, unregulated and unreported fishing, IUU. Therefore, the government today strongly believes in a new approach. Just in one line, remember, what's the new approach? The new approach is the ecosystem approach. What approach? Ecosystem approach. We are not seeing fishing as only something that is done in the sea or the river water. We are seeing fishing as a part of entire ecosystem. That includes fish stock, habitat of the coastal community, species interaction, human communities, their livelihood and their aspirations. So we are not only focusing upon one species here. We are looking fish as a part of a larger ecosystem in which humans are an equally important part. Mangroves are an equally important part. We look at, with this new approach of ecosystem, we look at fishery management as an interaction between human, fish, mangrove, coastal resources. It doesn't target only one species here. Then, under the program, under the FAO, we are also targeting 2 pilot projects. Where are these projects located? One is in the Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. It's known as the Vanak Bara project. Which one? The Vanak Bara project. And second is situated in Gujarat. And what is it known as? The Jakhau project. Let me quickly write down. One is in the Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. It's known as the Vanak Bara project. And the other is situated in Gujarat. It is known as the Jakhau project. Both these are pilot projects we are creating to make safe harbors, to make proper modern fishing ports. So the only way forward is to look at fisheries as a part of the whole ecosystem, make inclusive policies for small farmers and small fishermen, try to associate with global certification and digital tools when it comes to increasing competitiveness of this sector, and do everything that it takes to monitor, to control, to stop what? To stop any kind of IUU, unregulated, illegal, unreporting fishing. And now quickly to the question before I see the comments. That's correct, Kojumba and Ramu. Very well said there. Aspirin, thank you for explaining the PMMSY. Yes, that's correct. Nautical mile from the baseline. That's correct. That's absolutely valid, Ramu. That's the exclusive economic zone. It is from the baseline of the coast. Absolutely. Quickly, the question. Consider the following statements regarding fisheries and aquaculture in India. 1. India is the world's second largest producer of aquaculture products. 2. The PMMSY focuses on improving inland and brackish water aquaculture along with strengthening safety and infrastructure in fisheries. 3. The Food and Agriculture Organization, Bay of Bengal program primarily supports India in deep sea fishing and expansion of industrial trawlers. And 4. The Vanakbara and the Jakhau ports are pilot locations under FAO Technical Cooperation Program to strengthen fishing and port management. Which of these are valid? This is a slightly technical question because now this is absolutely with line of the UPSC pattern. There is no scope for elimination here. These questions look slightly tough in terms of their options, but that's how UPSC is also asking. So we have to train ourselves in questions like this. Let's try. Answers are rolling in, and Ramesh started answering. He says B should be the right answer. Rukula says same thing. Okay, I'm sorry for that, Ramu. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you, Bacha. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, Saurav says it's B. Sumedh, Reshma, Khushvi, Varnika, Kojumba, Dishank, everyone is saying that the answer should be C. Is it? Is it B or C? Then we don't know. Aspirant says 1, 2, and 4. Okay, that's a better way of clarifying. Let's have a look. First one. India is the second largest producer of aquaculture. Absolutely correct. Second, PMMSY focuses on improving inland and brackish water aquaculture with strengthening safety infrastructure in fisheries. Is that correct? Is that a correct statement? Looks like it's correct. Third one, Bay of Bengal program mainly supports India in deep sea fishing and expansion of industrial trawlers. No, not correct. Not correct. We clearly discussed that this program is trying to focus on small fisheries. Remember, I even jotted down here. The idea of the program is to support small scale fisheries and sea safety. So therefore, 3 is not correct. For sure, it's not correct. Let's look at 4. Vanakbara and Jakhau ports are pilot locations under FAO Technical Cooperation Program to strengthen port management. Looks correct. So then what should be the answer here? Should the answer not be C in that case? Yeah? It should be 1, 2 and 4. Is it not 1, 2 and 4? It should be 1, 2 and 4. Let's quickly confirm. Let's go back forward a little bit and confirm. There's no harm in confirming. Absolutely. Yes. Then the answer should be C only. Correct. Well done. Any doubts? Any confusions? It should be 1, 2 and 4. Yes, C should be the answer. Only 3 statements are correct. No problem. You never heard about that, Eric? But I thought I made you hear about that. Go back to one slide, Bacha. Look what I've written here. Vanakbara and Jakhau. Did I not speak about it? Did I not say that these two are being created as pilot ports and fisheries to modernize, to support Indian fishermen by the support of FAO? Did I not speak about it? As a larger part of Bay of Bengal large marine ecosystem? We did speak about it. Yes. So therefore, it should be 3. No, that's fine. We can have confusions. Thank you so much, Paramesh, for letting us know that. Thank you. Is that clear to everyone? Any doubts? Do let me know. No problem. Second article also editorial. The game changer in Bihar election 2025. Let's do it in 3 minutes. It's something you have done before. We all are talking about the Bihar assembly election. Earlier, we spoke about the special intensive revision that happened in Bihar. The idea was to make sure no migrant worker, no woman has been left behind. And after about 21 years, we conducted the SIR to make sure that the electoral list is totally valid. It's made properly. So many inclusions were made, so many exclusions were done. Finally, the election happened and we all know that today NDA emerged victorious. Yes. If you do a quick analysis of this election, everyone is talking about it right now. Everyone. People are saying the outcome means 50% votes, 90% seats being taken by one party. If we do a quick post-poll analysis, by the way, when you try to analyze the election, when a political analyst tries to analyze the election, look at the election trend, what is that known as? What is that science of analyzing the polling pattern election called? Can anybody tell me that quickly? So if you look at that trend, there are 2-3 things that have emerged very clearly. That's what the article is saying about that quickly. No problem, Eric. That's absolutely fine. I'm so happy. Now you won't forget, I know that. So what is that called? What is that called? When you analyze the election and polling. Okay, coming back to this article. Election results are out. One party has made a clean sweep victory. Today people are asking, how come 2-3 things happened suddenly? One, NDA getting so many votes with regards to opposition. Point number 2. Why did so many women turn out and vote? Why did the number of women voters exceed the number of men voters? There is a paradox here. If you look at the electoral roll, if you look at the sex ratio of the electoral roll, very good, Ramu. It's called psephology. Very, very good. Thank you for answering. It's called psephology. When you try to analyze the election trend, election data, election pattern, that's the art of the science of psephology. Thank you for answering. Do remember, everyone. Sometimes UPSC can use these words. Psephology. Okay, do remember. Very good. Excellent. Now, sex ratio of electoral roll meant there are more men. But when actually the polling happened, total 64.7% people almost came out and voted, but majority of them were women this time. Yeah, very good, Ramu. The study of elections and voting. Thank you, dear. Very good. 64.7% people came out and voted. Majority came out to be women. Let's do a quick analysis. Why did so many women voters come? Why is the concept of Mahila vote becoming so predominant here? Clearly, one point is that NDA has benefited from giving direct benefit transfer, DBT, to the account of lakhs of women in Bihar. Pradhan Mukhyamantri Mahila Rozgar Yojana, M3RY, the key factor behind pursuing women voters. And the party has benefited. 48% women voted this time in the election as compared to only 46% men, as per a data that's created. Absolutely, Ramesh. Very good. Very good. Another reason, if we do a quick analysis, out migration. Bihar sees one of the largest out migration. Majority of men went outside to work. Very good, Kojumba and Ramu and Ramesh. Men migrated to work out, to find industrial occupations. With that, women were left behind. So the actual voters were definitely more women than men. Shows the fracture in industrial development, inability to provide employment to the people within the state. Bihar contributes to the highest interstate migration in India. That's one data that came clearly. Third, a lot of people are saying it only happened because men migrated and government made women very happy by giving them direct money and incentives to vote. Other people are asking a question that Mahila vote or women vote is not the only explanation behind NDA's victory. There is one more element that comes in the picture, and that is called as the youth vote. We all know today the power of Gen Z has become tremendous. Whether it's the Nepal revolution, whether it's the Madagascar revolution, whether recently majority of people who came out and voted in certain few other elections in the EU countries, all of them are young people. The youth of various countries are determining their political structure. Bihar, the same thing happened. The NDA party had promised 1 crore government jobs, and that became a super hit policy with the young unemployed youth of the state. 50% of all the votes that they got were under 25 years. 45% came from the age of 25 to 35. So youth voting patterns are very fluid. Historically, youth will always vote for those who promise employment and job opportunities, and that's where again this party took advantage. Another issue is that women higher participation is not new. A lot of people are saying for the first time so many women have voted, not like that. According to this article in 2015 also, tremendous number of women had voted. This time women participation is not new. But excessive DBT and excessive youth appealing are some things that have become new. Third thing is about class and caste alignment. Data shows that women and youth will always vote in line with their caste and community preference. So somewhere indirectly there has also been an appeal to caste lines, an appeal to caste lines. That is also a factor we cannot ignore. Caste and community preferences show a major voting preference. That's a very important thing here. So that is also a major factor behind NDA's victory right now. Last but not the least, a lot of critics are asking, did the ruling party did not break the model code of conduct during election? MCC. Once the election is announced, no party can go and start doing so much convincing. No party can create slogans, popularize among public and send money into their accounts. But here, until the last day of election, people were being given money. They were being given stops. So these are also statements that are coming up. It means one reason cannot explain the victory of one political party as per what a lot of people are believing today. That Mahila vote, women support is the only reason. No. This article says it's a complicated mix of reasons. Yes, it is women vote, but it's coming at the cost of breaking down the model code of conduct of election. Second, yes, it is because men out migrate, but it is also because many youth have voted for this party. That's because they were promising so many employment opportunities. And third, let's not ignore the caste and the community preferences. That also reigns supreme when it comes to voting in India. There is a massive role played by a body. I don't know if you've heard about that. A body called Khap Panchayat, situated in various villages, and these are bodies that are dominated by upper caste. Historically, in all state elections in India, these bodies have a major role to play. In states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, it's more than clear that Khap Panchayat or upper caste bodies, they support certain parties. And by pursuing them, political parties get thousands of votes. And that's something you can't deny. So only one thing cannot be responsible for this victory. It is a mix of caste, gender, youth, class, and all these mixed factors that have happened. In the broader run, it is asking a question. Will people only win election in India if they promise welfare to the poor? Can they openly break model code of conduct? Or should other parties also take a lesson from that? The new future of the world is welfare politics and youth persuasion. Anybody who does that will have the votes in their favor. That's what this article says quickly. It's just a quick psychological outlook into the Bihar NDA victory. That's all. Now the question, consider the following statements regarding Bihar Assembly Elections 25. 1. NDA victory is only attributed to higher support from women and youth voter. My vote. 2. Historical voting patterns indicate that women turnout in Bihar has often been higher than men. And 3. Voting behavior among women and youth largely aligns with caste and class factors. Which of these are valid? Yes, absolutely. The liquor prohibition, Dishank, that's a major issue. They play a major part. They play a major part, Saurav. Major part, not small part. Major part. Okay, Abhishek, I understood your point. January to October, you want monthly current affairs. Fine. Let me just speak to the backend team and we can bring it for you. For sure. Let me speak with them. I'll get back to you. Answers are coming. Terukula starts, followed by Reshma, Varnika, Ramesh, Saurav, Ramu, and Lamani. Okay. All of them are saying the answer is B. And yes, the answer is B. Absolutely, it's a valid answer because one is not correct. The victory in Bihar is not only because of women and youth. Definitely, there are other factors like caste, class, women, youth, breakdown of model code of conduct, welfare policies. All of that is a complex thing. That's what this article says. And then, absolutely, it's a valid point. Second statement is justified because Bihar has the highest out migration when it comes to men migrating outside the state. So very well answered, Mumtaz, Eric, Rashika, Kojumba, Dishank. Well done. Very good. Yes, that's valid, Abhishek. That's correct. Quickly, the next article. This is an important one. GS paper 3. Give me 5 minutes for it at least. We are talking about air pollution. We are talking about Article 21 of the Constitution, the right to life, the right to breathe clean air. And yes, we are talking about global warming, environmental degradation. So GS paper 3. Is air pollution a South Asian crisis? Article is asking you, it is not just Indian crisis. Is air pollution a South Asian problem? Is it a South Asian crisis? Yes. Looking at New Delhi today, New Delhi's air quality index has consistently deteriorated every year. As soon as it deteriorates, it becomes toxic. It comes under severe category. The government takes action and there is a body called CAQM. What body is that? CAQM. The Commission for Air Quality Management. It immediately starts taking action and it implements what we call as the GRAP, the Graded Response Action Plan. It starts escalating from stage 1 to stage 3. Various health advisories are issued and the government gives various protocols to follow when the air quality comes under severe category. But it happens every year. Every year, Delhi's quality of air is only falling down. Air pollution in Delhi is a result of both factors. We have discussed this last week. I'm not repeating that. It's a result of natural factors, Delhi's topography. Yes, the lack of vertical air rise in Delhi owing to the deposition of a sheet of warm air. Then the problem is wind patterns play a major part. Also, anthropogenic causes, man-made causes, vehicle emission, industrial emission, and the paddy stubble burning in Haryana, Punjab, and NCR, UP. All these are responsible behind such a high level of air pollution. But it is not only an Indian problem, it happens across South Asia. In 2024, the air pollution was extending beyond India's borders. In 2024, India Pakistan both experienced a severe air pollution characterized by thick smog. It not only spread in India, it also spread into Pakistan's Lahore. Extremely poor quality of AQI was recorded in both countries together. That means there is a cross border. There is a cross border element to air crisis as well. Same thing happens as you're saying, Reshma, in the case of Bangladesh, absolutely, even Malaysia. Sometimes major cities become extremely polluted. Why is it happening? Why is South Asia so prone? Which are the other countries apart from India, Pakistan that are experiencing such a high quality pollution? Cross-border wind patterns are the major responsible reason. Cross-border wind patterns. Definitely all these areas will experience some similarity in wind pattern. And other countries apart from India, Pakistan that are impacted are Dhaka, Bangladesh, as Reshma told us. Moderate to very poor quality in winter. Nepal, Kathmandu, consistently high, severe category of air pollution. Sri Lanka, Maldives, Bhutan. Now these, if you see, are much less impacted by trans-boundary air pollution. That means when it comes to cross-border pollution, it is majorly India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal. Countries that are slightly safer are Sri Lanka, which other country is safe, Bhutan is safe, and Maldives are safe. They are very different kind of topographies. Okay. Now, what are the causes of these air pollution? Look at the anthropogenic causes. What do people do? People, obviously, vehicle pollution is the biggest reason. Recently, the Chief Minister of Delhi has announced and inaugurated many new electronic buses in Delhi. The Supreme Court also said the Delhi government, it requested that please propagate electronic transportation. That's very important. At the same time, it is about waste burning, stubble burning, discarding solid waste, a high degree construction dust. All these are responsible in Delhi, in all these cities. Next is the topography. The Indo-Gangetic Plain. It traps various pollutants, particularly particulate matter 10, particulate matter 2.5, dust, carbon soot. All these then lead to poor ventilation. There is a lack of ventilation in the winter season. It means a persistent smog, fog because of winter, combining with all these pollutants, creating a thick smog. That's a chemical reaction. And that is what is responsible for so many health and environmental problems. There is definitely a failure of cooperation. Which kind of cooperation are we talking about? From India, Bangladesh to Pakistan, Nepal, there is no international cooperation protocol with which we can together act during the winter months and try to curb this pollution problem. Even if Bangladesh takes a step today or Nepal takes, how will it help until India takes as well? After all, they are a part of same cross-border wind pattern. What's the benefit if India takes, Pakistan doesn't take? It has to be an integrated protocol. At the same time, the failure of the government in India to provide minimum support price to crops other than paddy, other than rice. How will the farmers diversify if they don't get MSP on something else? The failure to make machines like Happy Seeder. Happy Seeder is a machine which can burn your kharif, the rice stubble immediately. Farmers can't afford that either. At least poor farmers can't afford. So rather than taking action on them, understand it's a result of acute poverty. At the same time, there is a lack of effective crisis management. Most of the steps we are taking are curative. Yes, install the graded action response plan, the graded response action plan. Stop the construction. Tell people not to use vehicles. All these are curative measures. What about preventive measures? Preventive measures are not done. Most unfortunate is the fact that we all know comes November, problems will start till February, but still can we do something about it? Not really. And that's the sad part. Now, look at rapid urbanization. Construction is continuously reducing green cover. Private vehicles are only increasing. Inefficient, insufficient public transport. We have public transport, but the last mile connectivity is missing. Agriculture practices, lack of understanding among the farming community. All these have resulted in severe economic, health, and environmental impact. What about the data? Look at the GDP loss. Yes, Abhishek, that's very valid point. Happy seeder, super seeder. We need all these for Haryana, Punjab, UP, and NCR. But do we have them? They are unaffordable by most farmers. Yes. Now look at the GDP loss. A very high AQI. A toxic AQI results in almost 3% GDP loss. That is then invested into healthcare. It also contributes into labor loss. As per the World Bank, in India, because of polluted air quality, there is a loss of labor productivity. Labor loss plus healthcare investment, 3% of GDP. Look at premature deaths. People dying young. India has lost 1.36% of GDP in 2019. How much have we lost? 1.36% of GDP to what? Pollution related mortality. It's a study done by Lancet International. Because of pollution related premature deaths. Solution is there? Yes. If we want, we can implement some solutions. Strict policies to curb polluting vehicles, especially diesel vehicles. Trans-boundary cooperation with Pakistan, Afghanistan, yes, Bangladesh, Nepal. When it comes to trying to reduce emission among all these countries, whether it's vehicular, whether it's industrial. Next is to decarbonize industry and energy sector. Then sustainable agriculture practice, as Abhishek says, make people afford happy seeder, super seeder, so that stubble burning problem at least comes down. This year we had a very high stubble problem, especially in Punjab. So that needs to be controlled. Then long term, urban policy that promotes greening, non-motorized specific designated areas. Very good, Abhishek. That's an innovative solution. Please write this in your essays. Write this in your answers. If you are asked to suggest a solution, we can have more work from home opportunities for employees at least few days a week. Very good. Carpooling is again an excellent solution. Rooftop greening, subsidizing rooftop solar. All these could be solutions again. And today, we need a holistic solution. That is a multi-stakeholder solution. Not one, but many people have to come and give us the answer. Who can be involved? The government. Yes. The farmers. Administration. Civil society groups, self-help groups, NGOs. Countries also need to have some kind of policy to reduce carbon emission. Now, if you look at a research done by IIT Bhubaneswar, they are saying please create a national board airshed scale management strategy under which we can have month by month upgrading of the data and we can make annual plans because we already know this problem will come in winter. Can't we do something to protect it in advance? Continuously using these innovative ideas. Make it a multi-sectoral initiative because Delhi pollution is a multi-dimensional problem. It's not unidimensional. We can't say it's only because Delhi is in a broader Indo-Gangetic plain or Delhi cannot have the inward vertical air rise. All that's not the solution because the cause is due to anthropology, topography, it is due to industry, it is due to car, it is due to stubble burning. It is due to urbanization. If the problem is multidimensional, let's have a multi-sectoral solution also. That's all the article says. No short-term solution can help you. Only long-term solutions can help us. As Reshma says, the Miyawaki forest is a beautiful idea. Similarly, Chinese Sponge City Initiative. Very good. Absolutely, Kojumba. Environmental Impact Assessment Rules. 2006. They need to be implemented very strongly under the Environmental Protection Act 1986. Very good. Question. Look at the following statements regarding air pollution in South Asia. 1. Delhi's air pollution is caused only by local anthropogenic activities and has no connection with cross-border pollution. 2. Indo-Gangetic Plains topography. Topography is the land structure, geography contributes to persistent haze and poor air quality in cities like Delhi and Lahore. And three, long-term mitigation. Mitigation means solution. So long-term mitigation of air pollution needs regional cooperation, structural reforms in industry and agriculture, and sustainable urban planning. Absolutely, that's a valid answer given by Mumtaz, aspirant, Rashika, Saurav, Terukula, Sitaram, Dishank, Eric, Lamanya, Ramesh, Ramu. Absolutely well done. Yes, 2 is the right answer. That's correct. Not only, correct. It's a mix of many factors. So, B should be the right answer. We are done with the lengthy articles for the day. There was a question somebody was asking. Yes, Reshma, that's right. Stubble burning, Punjab, Haryana, UP. Okay. That's correct. That's a very major point you've raised, Abhishek. And that's also a jurisdiction that recently came from Supreme Court. Supreme Court gave 2 jurisdictions. One, please categorize all cases of human-animal conflict within natural disaster category. It also said toxicity in the form of air pollution has to be covered under disaster. It has to be considered under Ministry of Home Affairs disaster mitigation plan in the longer run. So yes, let's remember that. Very good, Kojumba. That's correct. Next article, quick one. Over 50% cases are pending in juvenile justice boards because of staff storage. Many times we have discussed, and I think all my students know, that in India, one of the major problems of judiciary is whether you are talking about Supreme Court, various high courts, or various local courts. We know that there are massive number of pending cases in front of all these. We have discussed thousands of times that Supreme Court right now is working at full capacity. Collegium is completely full. And despite that, what data was given last time? Who gave me that data? If I'm not wrong, who is that? Was it Eric or who gave us the data? How many cases are pending in front of the Supreme Court? Was it 86,000 cases? 87,000 cases almost are pending in front of the Supreme Court of India. Similarly, thousands of cases in front of the High Court. Local courts. We discussed the problems. Okay, Reshma, 88,000. Thank you for answering. 88,000 cases in front of Supreme Court. Similarly, local courts. We discussed the problem. Local courts do not have experienced judges. Local courts do not have trained judges. Cases are severely pending. Judges are wasting their time in just making entries. They have hardly any time to dispense the pending cases. All that are the problems. Yes, Sumit? Yes, Reshma? Correct? Today we are talking about the same thing with reference to juvenile justice boards. Let's quickly understand what are the juvenile justice boards. We are looking at GS paper 2, Polity and Governance. Juvenile justice boards are statutory bodies in India. Who said last time? It was Sitaram who said that, I think. Or Ramesh told us. Statutory bodies created by law. The Juvenile Justice Board is a statutory body in India that was created under Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2050. Let's remember. Almost 10 years before. Almost 10 years before. That's Juvenile Justice Board. What is the purpose? To take care of people who are under 18 years. Juvenile, young, not mature, under 18 years. If they are accused of a crime, they will be handled by the Juvenile Justice Board. Now, what is the purpose? To ensure that various proceedings are child-friendly, child-centric. We can rehabilitate the child. We don't need to punish that child or give a very harsh punishment. Understanding that it's still a child involved, we have to make sure that we create a body that has a judicial magistrate who will preside over the proceedings and 2 social workers. One is a woman at least, who is a child care expert. With these people, we will try to provide them rehabilitation, to reform them rather than punish them. But this article is telling us that unfortunately, more than half, 55% of cases that are pending before 362 juvenile justice boards in India are still pending. Across 362 juvenile justice boards, 55% cases are still pending. As of October 2023, they have not been sorted. And 92% of 765 districts in India have created their juvenile justice boards. They are dealing with children who are in custody, who have broken the law, who have committed some crime. For example, They are investing in the Juvenile Justice Board. But the problem is they are not able to solve the cases. Cases are still pending. 83% cases pending in Odisha, 35% Karnataka, different for different states. Plus, most of the juvenile justice boards have only disposed less than half of the cases that came in front of them. What does that mean once again? A defeat of justice, justice delayed, justice denied. Very soon, this child will become an adult. If you do not provide a timely intervention, then what is the purpose of juvenile justice board? It is meant to reform the children so that they don't commit the crimes as adults. It is meant to give them rehabilitation counseling. But if so many cases will be pending annually and only 92% districts will create these boards, what purpose will we solve? We will not solve any purpose, and that's what the idea says. Another issue is staff shortage. Most of the juvenile justice boards have lesser staff than required. These two problems, do remember about Juvenile Justice Board created in 2015. Remember, in India, 92% districts have made these boards, but half of the cases, more than half, are pending. Staff shortage has been reported. Okay, that's all for this article. Next one. Ukraine President Mr. Zelensky has now received an order from America. President Trump, his ally and a close friend, has ordered him to create a quick plan to end the Russia-Ukraine war. Have you seen, have you observed in the last 1 year how many peace mitigations is Mr. Trump doing? It all started with Azerbaijan, Armenia. Operation Sindoor, claimed by President Trump as having solved by him. 20-point peace program, Gaza, Palestine. Sharm el-Sheikh Summit, Egypt. Recently, the plan for new Gaza, led by President Trump. Third, or rather the fourth. Also the West Asian crisis. The crisis where it is American president who today wants so many countries to now force these two, Palestine and Israel, to create the two-state policy. Yes, the Gaza Peace Summit, Sharm el-Sheikh Summit. You see how many fights are being now mitigated through by only President Trump alone. Is he looking for a Nobel Peace Prize? Absolutely, Reshma. Abraham Accords, yes. Is he looking for the Nobel Peace Prize? This time he was keen on that. But who got the prize? Miss Maria Cacado got the prize from Venezuela. And why is Venezuela in the news right now? Operation Southern Spear. US has been engaging in a naval war and a conflict with Venezuela and Colombia in the Caribbean Sea. Why? To control the narcotic drug traffic. Yes, it was coming in the news. US has also been conducting a military drill with a country. Which country was that? Trinidad and Tobago. Very near Venezuelan coast. It made Venezuela insecure. Right? All these developments are very important. Places in the news. Do remember. Yes, absolutely. None of them have been executed properly, Saurav, but President Trump is trying his best. Another try comes. He wants Zelensky to quickly make a plan for sorting out the problem with Russia. And now it is a policy framework created by President Trump himself. It's being called as the US drafted framework. What's the idea? The idea is with immediate effect, give all the occupied territories back to Russia. Also, quickly start disarmament. This initiative is being forced by US on Ukraine to end the war. But European countries are very angry. European Union partners of the NATO are angry. They are saying this is almost like capitulation. What is capitulation? Capitulation means under certain fixed conditions if a country is agreeing to surrender. It is not unconditional surrender. It means conditional surrender. Yes. So, a lot of European countries are saying that it is almost like conditional surrender. And why should Ukraine surrender? After all, there is NATO support involved. It's a question of NATO prestige. It also deals with Article 5 of the NATO Charter, collective defense. Attack on one country is defense on attack on, it is almost like attacking all the countries. So although Mr. Zelensky has not said anything clearly right now, but I think he will be forced into it because America believes that it's high time the war should come to an end. Now, what is the motive exactly? We are yet to see. So that's in the news right now. Okay. And the conditions are being reviewed therefore. Now, one of the last articles, why are stone quarries in Kerala expanding? I will take 2 minutes for this one. Yes, that's correct, Saurabh. Now, recently I spoke to you about a case study, Sonbhadra in Uttar Pradesh, a place called Obra, where a massive stone quarry had collapsed and all the workers died. That pointed out to the dangerous practice of Indian mining, especially open pit mining, as an informal sector of Indian economy which is deadly, which provides no safety against occupational hazard or death to its poor workers. Today we are looking at a case study from Kerala. That's why in the index I have written CS, case study. GS paper 3, disaster mitigation, environmental degradation. We are looking at Kerala from a perspective where Kerala has been one state in India which had clearly in 2016, now do remember this fact, in 2016 Kerala had banned, prohibited river sand mining. What had it done? Kerala had prohibited, stopped river sand mining. Why? To protect its rivers, to protect the river ecosystem from degradation and excessive extraction. What was the impact of the ban? It was shocking. The impact of the ban was that there is now an increase in M sand mining. What am I talking about? I'm writing it here. M sand mining. What is M sand mining? What is M sand mining? M sand means manufactured sand. As soon as the government prohibited river sand mining, we started with M sand mining. M sand is the manufactured sand, that's why it's called M sand. How is it produced? Artificially, synthetically, by crushing hard rocks like granite, which lead to increase in stone quarrying. So do you see the relationship? As soon as river sand mining was prohibited, it started in stone quarrying, because now people are creating artificial sand like M sand by crushing rocks like granite. What is the study saying today? A study done by NIT Calicut has analyzed and investigated 72 stone quarries within 10 kilometers of protected areas within Kerala by using advanced satellite mapping and Google Earth Pro. And what does the study say? Study says, yes, Ramu, through crushing sand, very good. Studies say that in 2016 alone, in Kerala, stone quarrying expanded to 174%. It is more. It is happening more in protected areas. That's the shocking part. We all know the biodiversity of Kerala. And today's stone quarrying is happening more in protected areas and near biosphere reserves. Shocking thing is, it is happening near the Malabar Wildlife Sanctuary in Wayanad and Kozhikode. 23% increase in M sand mining here from 2016. Stone quarry. Second, near the Silent Valley National Park, Palakkad and Malappuram. In these villages which are protected areas, Silent Valley National Park, stone quarrying has increased. In fact, it has doubled in the last few years. What are the environmental impact? Specific sites which are undergoing this kind of M sand mining and quarrying have seen disruption of the river channel, a complete decline in river biodiversity. It has impacted those communities who depend on the river for fishing on a regular basis. It leads to a new word that this article is teaching us. Remember this new word? Blue injustice. What are we looking at? Blue injustice. Once again, I repeat, what are we looking at? Blue injustice. I will ask this question to you in the MCQ, weekly MCQ. Blue injustice. What is blue injustice? When you degrade your river ecology completely or marine ecology completely, and that impacts the local fisher communities indisproportionately. That becomes blue injustice. Remember, the word blue injustice is happening here. Now, there is a river known as Mayurakshi River. From 1970 to 2020, so much sand mining has happened that the river flow has completely got disrupted. Will it not lead to flooding of the nearby areas? Yes. M sand mining has surged in Kerala after the ban imposed in 2016, creating a complete chaos in air quality and ecosystem together. Today, there is so much demand for sand that there is so much demand for marine sand and river sand, especially in the urban areas, that the problem is people are excessively mining from these rivers. from these coastal lagoons. That has caused an overexploitation. When overexploitation happens, then not only the water quality degrades, but the amount of water degrades as well. It is defeating the purpose of protecting certain areas as biosphere reserve. Completely against. Environmental Protection Act 1986, completely against. Environmental Impact Assessment, as Reshma was mentioning, 1994, 2006. So, today, what do we understand from here? We understand one thing very clearly. Banning an activity completely does not guarantee that black marketing will not happen. Today, river mining was banned, M sand mining and stone and river quarrying has started. There is so much ecological danger that's there in this process that soon all the reserves areas will become highly toxicated. And today there is a very strong need to regulate M sand mining as well. Now this article is finished, but just for our understanding, I'll take 2 more minutes from you. I thought we will quickly talk about the types of mining, just in 1 minute, okay? Deshang, that's correct. Yes, Ramu, that's correct. It's an alternate for extracting river sand. Yes. Quickly in 1 minute. How many kinds of minings are popular? One is called as surface mining. It is also called open pit or open cast mining. Do remember? Open pit, open cast, surface mining. How is it done? You are extracting minerals directly from Earth's surface. You don't have to dig too deep inside. You don't really dig too deep. From the surface you are collecting. You are just making pits and taking various kind of minerals from them. A part of it is also called as strip mining, where you keep on reducing the layers of rock and soil in a very horizontal manner, like I made yesterday, a kind of staircase, and then you keep taking minerals from them. Quarrying is a part of this. Do remember, in this article we have learnt about blue injustice and quarry. Quarrying is a part of surface or open cast or open pit mining. What is quarrying? When you extract stone, sand, thick coarse material from the rivers itself or somewhere from the land itself. You just remove it from there. Next is underground mining. It is called subsurface mining. In this, you have to make a deep burrow in the earth through shaft by making tunnels. It's very dangerous because majority of labor deaths are associated with this. Third is placer mining. What is placer mining? In which you are trying to bring valuable minerals from river beds, beaches, or alluvial deposits of the rivers or water bodies. That's related to water. Taking from the river or water body is placer mining. Placer mining. Next is solution mining. As the name says, solution mining because we use a solution here. Minerals are extracted by dissolving these minerals into a liquid and then they are pumped out of the earth. For example, salt, potash, uranium mining is a very good example here. So that is solution or in situ mining. In situ means within the same location. You put the solution inside and everything then comes out. All the minerals come out with that solution by dissolving into it. Last is called mountain top or high wall mounting, where layer by layer you remove the top of the mountain or certain peak of the mountain to be able to access its deep surface, such as coal seams. So all these are different types of minings. Quickly, the last question. Surface mining is very common. Yes. Numerous landslides, Dishant. Thank you. Now, consider the following statements regarding river and sand mining and its alternatives in Kerala. 1. Kerala banned sand mining in 2016 to prevent ecological degradation of rivers and ecosystem. 2. The ban led to a rapid rise in M sand or manufactured sand production, which in turn increased stone quarrying near protected areas. 3. Expansion of quarries near Malabar Wildlife Sanctuary and Silent Valley National Project has caused measurable alterations in local biodiversity and riverine sediment flow, affecting both terrestrial, that's on land, aquatic, that's water, socio-ecological systems. Which of these are valid statements? Began by Terukula comes Ramesh, Ramu, Varnika, Reshma, Dishank, Sumed, Lamani, Eric, Aspirant, Saurav, Sitaram, and absolutely it's a correct answer that you've given me. It's D. All these statements here are valid. Very, very well done. Absolutely perfect. And now we end this session just by one last mention of article on page number 1, front page. Supreme Court has announced by a 5-bench judge as a response to the 16th presidential reference that was submitted in the court What has Supreme Court said? Now this is revolutionary. GS paper 2, Polity and Governance. As a response to 16th presidential reference, a letter written to the Supreme Court by the Parliament under Article 143 of the Constitution, Supreme Court's opinion was taken by the President, 16th presidential reference, that should the Supreme Court allow an upper time limit or a timeline like 3 months, yeah, that's okay, Eric. We should understand. That's fine. That's a sweet observation. Okay. So, yes, whether the Supreme Court can allow an upper limit or a timeline like 3 to 4 months for various decisions taken by governors and president when it comes to giving their response, accent, approval to any bill passed by legislature. That's the question right now. And it is in line with April 8, 2025, when Tamil Nadu, in fact, many other opposition ruled states, had complained to the Supreme Court that governors in the states are deliberately pending the bills. They are deliberately delaying their approvals because they act like representatives of the center. This is about constitutional bias here. So, what does Supreme Court say? Today, a 5-bench judgment of the Supreme Court has come, and what does it say? It says that in line with constitutional mandate of separating the powers between legislature, executive and judiciary, the governors and the president cannot be forced to give their response in a given time limit or a fixed timeline. We cannot do that because that means even if the governor and the president have not agreed to the bill, they will have to forcefully give their approval. It is like a deemed consent. Because they are not approving, we believe that they have approved if 3 months are expiring. And that's a defeat of the post of constitution, president and governor. Judicially imposing a one-size-fit-all approach that in every state a 3 months timeline can work. That again is antithetical. It's not valid with the constitutional idea and it's a violation of federal principles of India. Then it also doesn't mean, Supreme Court says, that governor and president can take years altogether for the bill to pass. It is not good. Respecting their constitutional authority, even the governors and the president, although they have some discretion, they can either approve the bill, they can send it back, they can refuse the bill. The governor can reserve the bill for presidential consideration, but they have to take a decision within some time. It doesn't mean they can sit over it indefinitely. In that case, the courts can issue a writ called mandamus. Mandamus means ordering a lower body to do your duty if the body is not doing the duty properly. We discussed about one more writ, habeas corpus, when the Ladakh controversy was happening. Yes, when Mr. Sonam Wangchuk got arrested, we spoke about habeas corpus, National Security Act, preventive detention. We spoke about Article 20 and 22 in detail, if you remember. Today we are looking at another writ, mandamus. In that case, Supreme Court will tell these people that please do your duty. But that doesn't mean that you can force them to take a call within 3 months. That also is not valid because our constitution doesn't say like that. Ultimately, it becomes of the basic doctrine question. Keshwanand Bharti case 1973. There are certain basic structures of the constitution you cannot do. You cannot change them. Right? So therefore, it means that no matter whether the Supreme Court puts a limit or not, the governor and the president should take a timely call. In case they fail to do that, then perhaps the court will issue a writ. But the court will not, create any kind of upper 3 to 4 months time limit. That is very unlikely and anti-constitutional. Now, what options does a governor have? Very good. As you mentioned, Dishank, under Article 200, the governor can say yes to a bill passed by state legislature. The governor can reserve the bill for presidential consideration if he or she thinks that appropriate. Or the governor will also be able to sometimes withhold, say no, or does not give his approval to the bill. Of course, it is not valid in the case of a money bill, Article 110. It doesn't apply in the case of a money bill. But in the case of ordinary bills, definitely the governor can withhold his assent to the state legislature or give some comments for reconsideration. So you see, they have a discretion here. Under Article 200 also, 201 also, they have discretions. But it doesn't mean they abuse their power. They cannot just keep the bill without giving a reason. They have to negotiate with the state legislature because dialogue is the hardcore fundamental principle of cooperative federalism. That's very important here. So court says there is no mandatory consultation required for every bill, but if the governor or the president want to consult with the legislature, they should feel free. They should do that. The president under Article 143 has the right to take Supreme Court's advice also, like the president has done in this case. So that's it for now. No upper limit coming. At the same time, it's also crucial that the governors and the presidents respect dialogue based, cooperation based, coordination based cooperalism because after federalism, because after all, state legislatures and parliament are elected by the people. Governor and the president are not elected by the people. They are constitutional bodies, but legislatures are the bodies that represent people in our democracy. To not let a bill pass is definitely a defeat of democracy. To wait years altogether is a defeat of democracy. But to give an upper timeline, is also like not valid with constitutional principles. So that's what is happening right now. And that's it for the day then. Okay, that's it for the day. A quick reminder about 2027, 2028. If you are preparing for these years, 27 and 28, we have excellent options where we provide you GS paper 1 to GS paper 4. All material, classroom, lecture, MCQ, PYQ, news, optional subject of your choice heavily discounted, and CSAT and prelims. Everything. Prelims, mains, interview guidance at a price of 29.99 only. 15 months plus guidance. If you want to enroll for the course, admissions are closing 25th November. Please use code SPLIVE and apply for the course. Whether you like in Hindi, English or bilingual is okay. Whether you want early morning, late evening or weekend batch, that's also okay with us. Similarly, for 2028, you can begin quickly. If you are preparing, well begun is half done. Use code SPLIVE. Admissions are ending for the batch on 25th November. Price that's 34,000 and more than 18 months of thorough guidance. Classroom, offline, online, prelims, mains, interview plus. Hindi, English, bilingual, all batch timings accommodated. Think about it, do spread the word. Thank you so much. Yes, Abhishek, I absolutely remember what you said. Let me speak to them and organize something for you. Yes, Ramu. That's true, Ramu. That's becoming like a vicious circle right now. Supreme Court approval will also, how will it be valid in that case? So it's a controversy right now. Let's see what result comes out of that. It is a problem that's very hard to solve because on the one hand you have democracy, on the other hand you have constitutional mandates. Okay, Saurav says today I have not made any diagram. I made a small diagram though. From tomorrow I'll make more elaborate ones. If you're such a fan of my drawing, I wasn't aware of that. Thank you. Thank you, Ramu. Mandamus means we command. That's correct. A detained person has a right to file the petition. Very, very good. So thank you, Abhishek, Mumtaz, Ramu. That's a valid point made by you, Ramu. That's a very smart point made. Absolutely, that's correct. That's the vicious circle we are talking about right now. Thank you, Kojumba, Saurav, Sumedh, Sitaram, and Dishank, Eric, Rashika, Lamani, Aspirant, Saurav, Varnika, Terukula. Who else is there with us? Have I taken all the names? Aspirant is here. And that's it, I believe. Amesh is there. Okay, then. All right, then. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? I will, aspirant. Definitely. I will. Bring to you essay writing. Why just a short video? I'll bring a complete course on that. We are still thinking about that. Thank you. Okay? God bless you.